This is a pass not to be missed. It ascends and descends the Rubokberg via the valley road and has some very steep gradients which are not problematic as the entire pass is tarred. It's a slow drive offering fabulous and dramatic scenery culminating in the Valley of Desolation. No visitor to Graaff-Reinet should miss this opportunity. The pass is 7.3 kilometers long and it's not designed to be driven if you're in a hurry. Permits are required, which can be obtained at the entrance gate. Bookmark this one, it's a real gem and rates very highly in our Eastern Cape Top 20 passes listing. The entire pass falls within the Camdeboo National Park and the road is well maintained and in excellent condition. Most of the pass needs to be driven in first and second gear and there are some very steep sections, but as the surface is tarred, traction is never an issue and the pass is perfectly okay to be driven in any vehicle. The speed limit of 40 km per hour is applicable for the entire distance. The first kilometer consists of a progressive and wide left-hand curve and it's at a very easy gradient. Ahead the mountain looms and it's not immediately apparent where the road is heading. Just after the 1 kilometer point, the road reaches a small river and follows its western bank. Here the road enters a kloof which narrows appreciably. At the 1.6 kilometer point, the road curves sharply to the right and enters a very tight left-hand bend of 110 degrees as a side ravine is traversed. From this point, the gradient ramps up to 1 in 6 and even steeper as altitude is gained rapidly. The road remains on the western side of the ravine and only crosses to the opposite side at the 3.6 kilometer point via a wide left-hand curve. Things start getting seriously steep from here, and depending on your vehicle's engine power, you'll need to be in second or first gear until you reach the first view site. There's another sharp right-hand bend at the 4 kilometer mark which changes the heading from east to southeast. During 1972, the International Union for the Conservation of Nature and Natural Resources and the World Wildlife Fund listed the establishment of nature reserves in the Karoo as a world priority. Under the presidency of Dr. Anton Rupert, the SA Nature Foundation, which is affiliated to the World Wildlife Fund, acted as a catalyst in purchasing and obtaining a donation of land from the Graaff-Reinet municipality. By August 1979, enough land had been acquired by the SA Nature Foundation to establish the transfer and control of the Karoo Nature Reserve to the provincial nature conservation authorities. Camdeboo National Park was proclaimed after the Karoo Nature Reserve, which was under the control of provincial government since 1979, was transferred to SANParks in October 2005. The park is currently 19,405 hectares in extent. At the 5.3 kilometer mark, the gradient eases off considerably to around 1 in 14 and a signboard points the way to a picnic and view site on the left. If you're not in a high clearance vehicle, you can take this short gravel road very slowly to the view site which is just out of view a few hundred meters over the ridge. The view site offers about 5 covered picnic tables with ablution facilities and sweeping views over the Nkweba Dam and parts of Graaff-Reinet. The altitude here is 1,227 meters. Continue climbing towards the second viewpoint for another 800 meters as the road climbs fairly steeply again and skirts the peak ahead on its eastern side. The road curves steadily to the left and soon arrives at an extremely tight hairpin bend at the 6.1 kilometer point. This bend is right on top of a natural neck and a narrow nose of the mountain rises away towards the east. There's limited parking here for about 3 vehicles. Take the short walk up some easy steps to the rocky viewpoint about 100 meters away where you can enjoy the spectacular 360-degree views. There's a toposcope on a rock plinth which will help you identify your surroundings. For the astute and lucky observers, you might spot the pair of black eagles that roost in the crags below the toposcope. To the northeast, the waters of the Nkweba Dam sparkle far below, and turning slightly clockwise, one gets a complete view of Graaff-Reinet and how it has developed around the big loop of the Sundays River. Turning more to the south, the distinctive shape of the freestanding mountain known as Spando Kop can be appreciated, whilst to the southeast, the rock pillars that split the mountain ridge make for a dramatic landscape over the Valley of Desolation. You can follow the road for another 1.1 kilometers, rising steeply at first, and then the gradient levels off on top of the plateau, and it's an easy drive to reach the turnaround point 7.2 kilometers after starting the pass. There's a small stone building contained within the loop formed by the road, offering fresh water and clean ablution facilities. Be sure to watch part 2 of the Camdeboo Pass, which features the spectacular views of the descent, as well as interesting information on the national park and some fascinating history of the town of Graaff-Reinet.